Friends, I am here today with a 3-fer. I am here to review 2 styles and do a sister style comparison. If you are a wig sister that loves to find wigs that are similar so that you can wear them as sister styles and nobody will know that you're wearing a wig, then this is the video for you. We're going to talk today about Estetica Meritt and Estetica 𝘕𝘐. I have them both in the same color, Caramel Kiss RT4. I'm going to tell you about each of these pieces and then we'll compare them. If you want to know more, stick around. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook. If you're new here, let me give you a little lay of the land. In my wig reviews, I always timestamp all of the major components of the review in the description. In this video, it's going to be especially important. So if you're only here to see about the color Caramel Kiss RT4, go down to the timestamps and you can skip ahead to that section. If on the other hand, you don't really care about Meritt, but you really are curious about 𝘕𝘐, you can skip ahead to the section where I talk about 𝘕𝘐 more specifically. Or you can stick around because I do cover a lot of really helpful tips in these videos. For example, I'm going to tell you guys that this one right here, Meritt, flops in my face a little bit. I have a video showing how to take a clothing steamer to get lift in the front of a wig that is too much of a face flapper for you. That could be helpful to you. How about a densely knotted part line like we have here on Meritt? For my preference, I would pluck that part line, and I'll link a video below teaching you how to do that. Wigs sent me both of these so that I will put a link in the description and a coupon code that will save you 30%. Next time you're in the market for a wig, maybe that's not today, but keep them in mind and check them out. They do an awful lot for the wig wearing community. They're a small business. I personally love them, and I would appreciate it if you'd show them some love, even just to check out their website. All right, let's talk about these pieces. All right, like I said, the one on my head is Meritt. Meritt is a straight, low density bob. Let's take a look at this one from all sides. So if you're looking for a low density piece that has no permatease, Meritt is your girl. If you like the length of this, this is low density. There is no permatease. There may be the tiniest bit of crimpy fibers right exactly here on the crown, but no poofy, pillowy, traditional permatease at all. And you can see she does tuck great. Now, she is a face flapper. I kind of mentioned that a little bit. So when I don't have her tucked, she does sort of flap in the face. Now, I think over time, you could train her to not do that by just doing this with her a lot, playing with her, the heat of your hands, redirecting those knots. You know, every one of these fibers on a lace front are hand tied in individually. And so you may need to just redirect those knots. But if that's not enough, or you just don't have the patience for that to happen, you can use a clothing steamer to get just a little bit of lift. It will literally take you like 30 seconds to a minute. It's going to take you way longer to set up the clothing steamer than it is to actually steam this piece and get lift. I have a video where I show you how to do that. I'll make sure it's linked in the description. And in that video, I also pluck a part line. I have so many videos showing how to pluck part lines. I tend to do it a lot because I like to see a defined part. You may not at all be bothered by the fact that you can't really see it right there. And if not, then you don't have any work to do. These both have the same exact cap construction. So I'm just gonna grab 𝘕𝘐 here and show you it. So we have a full mono top. That means that you can part this anywhere up here. You can part it anywhere. This one does come left going over to the right. That's the part that it came from the manufacturer. But you can change that mono top, lace front. The lace front is not extended. It goes from here to here. But they did a really great job with the transition, and I don't feel that you're going to be able to see that transition. On some wigs, you can see the transition, so even just tucking can cause you to be able to see it. They did a great job on these, and you can't see it. We've got open ear tabs, and they do have a metal stay in them. We have an open extended nape. We've got hook adjusters, so you can adjust the size, the fit a little bit. And then we've got wefting, open wefting. This is all wefting. And hair is sewn in on the weft. So let's take a look at the lace front on this one, and I'll get them switched out here. really, they did a really good job. You can see some knotting. So on this color, they brought the kind of the highlight up to the front. That helps a lot with dark knots, because when you've got dark brown or just brunette hair on a wig, a synthetic wig or a heat-friendly synthetic, sometimes you can see those knots, and you cannot bleach synthetic wig knots. So that can sometimes be a challenge. So bringing the highlight up front can really help with that. If you're bothered by visible knots, you can take a little bit of face powder. If you don't wear face powder, just get it at the dollar store. And I've got a video showing how I hide knots that way. It's super easy to do. Anybody can really do it, and it's not a permanent solution, but it takes just a couple of seconds to get it if you just want to do it every time you wear the wig. I mention that because I know that if you're new, these are things you don't even know. So I like to talk to all my wig sisters in these videos, but specifically to my new wig sisters to help you out with that. All right, let me switch them up. All right, and here is Haven. Let's take a look at Haven from all sides. So Haven has a really kind of chaotic wave pattern. Not super consistent. We've got a little bit of a cowlick on one side, and the waves they have a variety of twirls. Now again, these are regular synthetics, so you're not going to take regular heat tools to any of these pieces. She also has just a slight bit of an A-line, not super pronounced, but just the tiniest bit. And like I said before, these are made with the exact same cap construction. This one seems to be parted more kind of just off center, whereas Meritt was a left going over to the right. This one's just a little bit off center. And you can see down to cap a little bit better there. So some of that is variation. I always like to say wigs are sisters, not twins. And monofilament, lace front, those are hand-tied features. A human being hand-tied each of those fibers in. So because of that, there will be variation. All hand-tied, handmade items have some variation. Now, whereas Meritt didn't have permatease. There was no volume up there on the top. Haven has just the tiniest bit of permatease right here at the crown. I can kind of feel it when I touch down on the cap up here, but it is not significant. It's not like the super poofy, pillowy that feels like you could lay your head on it and go to sleep at night. It doesn't have a ton of permatease. There's a little bit of crimpy fibers right on the on either side of the monofilament. And I do find that that's really common on curly and wavy pieces, because if you don't have any of that, those curls and waves are really going to flatten out, especially over the course of the day with the heat of your I think it's helpful to have a teeny tiny bit. This one doesn't have much, but I think that's one of the biggest differences between the two. So maybe now's time to do the sister style comparison and talk about the difference. Okay, so why did I think these would be good sister style wigs? Well, I think the first is obvious. They're similar lengths. They're not identical, but I think they're close enough that nobody's going to know that your hair is completely different. They're going to know you curled your hair, or they're going to know you straightened your hair, but that's all that somebody is going to be able to see. So let's talk about length differences and where I think it might pose a challenge for you, because it is really hard to find wigs that are identical in length, even in the same line. So one of the benefits of getting two Estetica sister styles is you have a good shot at being able to get them in the same color like I've done here, which will make it so incredibly seamless when you wear one or the other, versus trying to find one in one manufacturer and one in the other. I get asked all the time, like probably 3 times a day at this point, if I know what color is the same as such and such. You know, what color in Raquel Welch is the same as Brown Sugar Sweet Cream in Beltress? And unfortunately, sometimes you can get one that's sort of close, but often you cannot find anything that's even remotely close. So sticking within the same brand will allow you to get the same color. So where I think the biggest differences are, aside from just the style, is there's 2 length measurements that are different, and I'll tell you a solution if it bothers you. The first one is the front, so the bang area. On 𝘕𝑣n, the one on my head, this area right here is 10.5 inches. Now, let me just say, a lot of these wig manufacturers measure that hair before the curl was put in. I am 8 inches from here to here, so this may not be quite 10.5 inches on you because I think they probably measured it before the curl was put in. That said, this is 10.5 inches and this one right here is 8.75. So if you'll recall, let me throw her on real quick, and I will put some side-by-side pictures at the end so you're not trying to figure out how close they are. You'll see them side by side at the very end of this video. But I think where somebody might have a concern, I would not have this concern, but I know if you're a new wig wearer, if you're struggling with the journey, if you don't want anybody to know, these are the things that are going to really give you heartburn. So you can see that's just shorter. That one went down here and this one goes to here. Now, I do not think 99% of people will notice. They're going to notice that you curled your hair or straightened it, depending on which one you wear normally, but they're not going to notice that it's a different length. But if that worries you, and I've got a lot of experience on this. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I've talked to thousands of women who have confirmed that what they thought someone would notice, nobody noticed. But again, you have to be comfortable. I can't expect you to take my word for it. So let's say you're nervous about that. And you go to throw on 𝘕𝑣n after having worn Meritt for a while, and you look in the mirror and go, they're going to know. They're just going to know. You have a couple options. Styling. First of all, I love to take the very front of a wavy piece and get a claw clip or a pretty barrette and just kind of clip it up. That way, you're getting that offending longer front piece out of the way. You can also do it to the side if you don't want to do a full up on the top. You can throw it behind your ear, and if you're worried about it moving throughout the day, you can get a bobby pin and kind of, let me get this in here. The ear tab is kind of in the way right now. You can put a bobby pin in there and you can get it out of the way. The point I'm trying to make is, if there is a length difference that makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to wear the wig just like it comes. I preach styling your wigs so often because it really does make a huge difference. It can help us to feel more normal. If you've been suffering from hair loss and you style your wigs, gosh, it just suddenly you're like, wow, this feels like my hair. Like, it becomes more you. So do not be afraid to style your wigs. The other measurement, because a lot of them are real similar. For example, the side measurements. So what I was just talking about was the bang, the front. But the side measurements right here are exactly the same, 6.5 inches. The crown is a little bit different, and so is the nape, but I think they cancel each other out. So I have Meritt on again. Meritt is the straight style, and the crown on Meritt, so from the crown of your head down, is 10.5 inches, whereas the crown on 𝘕𝑣n is 11 inches. So we've got 1.5 inches at the crown difference, but the nape on 𝘕𝑣n here is 3.5 inches, whereas the nape on Meritt is 4.5 inches. This very bottom measurement here. So I think that they effectively cancel each other out because one is longer than the other, and then the opposite is longer than the other for the nape, if that makes sense. I hope I didn't confuse you. So essentially, there are some length differences, but I do not think they're significant, and I really do not think anybody will ever notice. But if it makes you nervous, you can absolutely style your wig, and that will help a ton. Let me summarize real briefly. We'll get outside so you can see both of these this color outside, and I will show it to you on both of them because color can look different on waves versus straight. But the bottom line, if you are on the wig journey and you're struggling and you don't want anybody to know, or you just don't want to answer questions, maybe you're not super worried about that, but you don't want to draw attention to yourself, but you do want to be able to change up the style occasionally, finding close enough styles will serve as sister styles. And I recommend you kind of create a list, okay? Let's say you have a wig that you love right now, and you'd love to find a sister style to that one. What I did to help me prepare for this video is I created a table. And I've got all of the points I wanted to hit so that I could compare them really quickly. Well, that could help you as well, because you can put all of the, you know, the major details of the wig that you love, the length, the crown, the sides, the bang, the weight, whatever it is, and you can put them in a list. And then as you're looking for a sister style, you can just compare those. They're right there, right in front of you. Maybe you watch a video, maybe you see a review and you think, oh my gosh, I think that could be a sister style to the wig I've been trying to match. Well, just go to the Name Brand Wigs website or wherever and do that comparison. That's what I've done in the past, and it can really be helpful. Not only that, but it helps you to be intentional about your purchasing decisions. Instead of just willy-nilly purchasing things that you think might work and then you get them and they don't, this can help you narrow it down. It doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect, but it's way better than just trying to guess. So that's my best tip. Documenting and keeping lists will help a lot to avoid some of these heartbreaking purchases that you really thought were going to work. Maybe you'll know a little bit more when you do it this way. All right, finally, they weigh the same. One weighs, let me see here, Haven, this one right here, weighs 3.4 ounces and Meritt weighs 3.5. It's actually interesting to me that Meritt is like 0.1 ounce heavier than this one. I wouldn't have guessed that, but essentially it's negligible and they're pretty much the same. So I would say if you're looking for a low density piece, very sleek, low density, no permatease, definitely consider Meritt. And again, I've got tip videos showing you how to work with face floppers, how to work with part lines, all of that, and I've linked a whole bunch below. And then if you're looking for curly or wavy, you like kind of a chaotic, messy wave pattern, then Haven could be great. I think they're both really fantastic wigs. And I'm so grateful to have gotten the opportunity to see them so that I could show all of you. All right, let's talk briefly about color here and we'll get outside. I've already filmed the outside segment. Caramel Kiss RT4. This is basically a golden brown with copper blonde highlights and dark brown roots. They do have a Caramel Kiss with no root. And these, at least one of these wigs comes in it. I guess I didn't look to see for sure. I can't remember which one it was. But they do have a Caramel Kiss that is not rooted. So you've got your Caramel Kiss and then you've got your Caramel Kiss RT4, or sometimes it's C Kiss RT4. That's kind of how it's listed here on this. Oh, I'm shaking. I think I have low blood sugar. I really need to get something to eat. So let me wrap this up. So what we have here is the kind of the golden brown. It's like a medium brown that's kind of golden, if that makes sense. And then you've got your copper blonde highlights. And the highlights, you can see big chunks of them. That's really going to vary from piece to piece. Some are going to have bigger chunks, some are going to have smaller chunks. Some will have a lot more up at the front than others. I'm sure that they have a kind of a formula, but there's variation. So just keep that in mind. This is a super fun color. I do find this color to be a little bit shiny. You know, on regular synthetic wigs, they can be shiny. Some colors are more shiny than others. This one to me is just a little bit shiny. Some powder, dry shampoo and like cornstarch or something like that can really tamp that down. Just be a little careful because with the browns, that can really kind of muddy them. You can get brunette dry shampoo. You can try that, and shine does dissipate over time. The more you wear it, wash it, it will fade. But I just wanted to mention that because I had Jameson in this color really early on, and I remember seeing myself in a picture and I thought, wow, that looks shinier than I thought it really was. Sometimes those overhead lights can do that. Don't panic, there are ways to work around it. It is just one of the things that happens when you wear regular synthetic. All right, guys, I've talked enough. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. Thank you for watching. If you've stuck around this far, you have helped me more than you know. And please check out Name Brand Wigs next time you're in the market for a wig. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. All right, I'm going to show you this one really quickly, and then I'll go throw on the straight one and splice these two videos together, because color can sometimes look a little different on wavy versus curly. And this one. There you go. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.